really proud of our team today. Just a great environment today at the McGuire Center. These early non-conference tests are just a great opportunity for both teams to kind of see where you're at early in the season. Illinois is going to win a lot of games this year in the Big Ten. They were without one of their top scorers, but I thought overall, just to have our kids in this game, this atmosphere, we just learned a lot about ourselves. Had a couple big leads at point, lost them, and then battled back. I thought we made some key defensive stops and got a couple rebounds that really kind of propelled us over the edge. And I think ultimately we were led by our seniors. I thought Jordan was poised with some big plays for us. Liza Carlin was tremendous, and then Rose Nakumu probably doesn't get half the credit she deserves for the defensive effort she's putting on against different opponents. And I was just really proud of the way she played against Brian, a tremendous scorer inside and out, and I thought she did a nice job overall on her.
Any questions for Coach?
Hi, Coach. So this is your second year in a row, with last year when you guys beat Texas and Gonzaga early on, and this year beating Illinois early on. Beating quality opponents very early on in the season rather than beating other teams. Like, what can that kind of do for your team's confidence, being able to go up and beat a quality opponent so early on in the season?
Yeah, I think it's just, like I said, a good measuring stick. We try and get some good matchups early on in that non-conference play, and I think going down to the Bahamas last year gave us great confidence. You're a little bit of the underdog in that mentality. I thought this game was very different. You're playing on your home floor. You get a little boost from your crowd, which is nice. And like I told the team in the locker room, just the preparation of the 3 days of just grinding away and putting a game plan together and then doing everything we can to execute should be the fun part about it. And then ultimately, you hope when it's game day and the ball's thrown up that you stay the course and you try and take away some of the other team's strengths. And so I was just really proud of, I think, the positives that came out. There'll be plenty to work on. Obviously, I mean, there's a million stats from this game we can go back and say, hey, we could do a little better at this, or maybe I could have done something different to help them. But I think the overall theme is the more of these quality games early on you can do, whether you win or lose, it's going to help you ultimately for conference time.
You guys scored 14 points in the first quarter, and then you went on to score 23 in the second. So what kind of switched there for you guys? What was working for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about coming into this game there was going to be a ton of runs. Illinois can really score the basketball at times, and even when you had a little bit of a lead, you knew that could dissipate pretty quickly. So I thought we were getting good quality shots early on. Just some of them didn't fall. Some of them was Illinois' pressure and making some plays on us, and I think a little bit we were just it kept preaching consistency, get good shots, change different things, out of some timeouts just to help with maybe keeping the other team off balance. But I think early on you're trying to find that feel of rotation and what do we need to do to get a bucket, what do we got to do to get a defensive stop. And I think this will be great this first week of college basketball, just to kind of look back and reflect and carry it over into the next week of both the good and the bad with different quarters.
This is your second game in a row with at least 4 players and scoring in double figures. Last game, I believe, 6 players scored in double figures.
Mm-hmm.
What does that kind of say about how you can just get scoring from pretty much anywhere on the court any given night with this team?
Yeah, I think we shortened our bench a little bit for this game, not purposely. It just kind of happened that way. But I think we're still going to be a team that is strength in numbers, and we have some good quality players that are working their tail ends off that will come off the bench for us. And the more people we can build to help with our depth, the better. But yeah, I think that's what's going to be hopefully a strength of ours, that different people can score at different times. It doesn't have to be just a Jordan King. Rose is much improved from the perimeter. Liza's gaining a lot of confidence. I'm really excited to just see how Franny will also develop as she gets more comfortable within our system. She can really score the ball, and it's just a matter of putting her in those situations and giving her confidence. So I love that there's options. Even you talk about Lee Volker is going to be somebody for us that's going to be really good. Skylar Forbes as a freshman being in this environment, it's different than just a practice environment. So I just look forward to growing with them through this early part of the year.
You mentioned Lee Volker. I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more on what you kind of expect from her this season, transferring over from Duke, and what kind of went into that process. From her coming from Duke to Marquette this past offseason.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Lee. Great kid, great human being. I think she's working hard to fit into our culture and our system, and she's somebody that we can move her around in different spots on the floor. She can shoot the three, she can attack the rim. you know, really challenging her to just embrace everything right now, all the newness and just being back in the, you know, the atmosphere of college basketball. And you know, I think it's a great gift for us, and I'm really looking forward to, you know, obviously continue to help her develop, and she's going to be a great piece for us this year.
Anything else for Coach?
Yeah. Coach, can you kind of go more into detail about like the advantage that you have with the pre-established chemistry between Liza Carlin and Franny, and like what that brings to the team?
Yeah, I mean, Franny and Liza both knew each other back in the old AAU days, both being from Minnesota, and so they had a good relationship, and they stayed up through their, you know, obviously the past, you know, few years of playing college basketball. And you know, Franny, when she was done with her time at Lehigh, wanted with the extra year of eligibility to, you know, challenge herself and play at a different level. So it's been awesome. As much as we're still building the chemistry of real life here and, you know, Marquette basketball and them finding their chemistry, I mean, Franny has fit in so well with our girls, and, you know, just enjoy being around her. Even though she's new to Marquette, she has a great poise about her, a different kind of leadership, being a little bit older and more experienced. And again, we just keep trying to encourage her, like, as much as it's different, you're still, you know, obviously a really good player and bring so much value. I think it's been cool to watch Liza and Franny too just develop their relationship differently on the court. They're constantly talking to each other. They have each other's back. And even how they interact with our two freshmen, Hallie and Skylar, have been incredible. So just really looking forward to seeing how their games will continue to progress, and you know, really grateful that Franny's a Golden Eagle for her last year.
Coach.
You mentioned earlier about, you know, like we kind of talked about the differences between the Bahamas games and the home games. What is it just for you guys to really like play in these types of games with this type of environment inside the McGuire Center and the crowd really being into it like that?
Yeah, I can't reiterate enough where women's college basketball is going and can go with just the crowds and the, you know, just the early first week games on TV, you know, the numbers of ratings of just people wanting to watch, fill the stands of women's college basketball. And, you know, we're trying to do the same, okay? And I think whether that's, you know, phone call by phone call telling people to get out. We were on the phones this week and around campus just saying, hey, it's worth coming to see us. It's worth coming to see Illinois and Marquette, you know, two great teams, and, you know, two coaches that are really passionate about the game and want to keep growing it. And I just think the more attention we can get out across Milwaukee, across the state of Wisconsin, and nationally, I think people are just going to keep loving what this game is doing. And I just watched the little girls that were in the crowd today and little boys, and just seeing them jumping up and down and, you know, creating this atmosphere that that our women deserve. And, you know, we're going to keep building brick by brick with it. And but I think it's starting to be contagious, whether it's women's college basketball, whether it's women's volleyball. There's great momentum, and any part that we can bring, you know, from administration to coaches to players to bring a positive environment, we're going to keep pushing and have a whole lot of fun along the way with it.